Hi guys, welcome along to the next tutorial. So what we're going to be doing in this one is we're going to be building a basic website. So if you have a look at the screen, what you'll see I've put together is just a cool little website about County Wicklow. So we have some text, we have a little image, I've embedded a video from YouTube which you can play, and I also have a couple of lists here. And I've also styled the website as well, so I've been able to change the background to kind of a light blue, and I've been also able to change the color of the text. So let's get started building it. So the editor we're going to be using is an editor called Genie. Now, I'll have the link in the description. It's totally free again to get, and it works across Windows and Mac. And I'm also going to have links below for the website project, which if I just show here, when you download, there's going to be 3 files. We'll have our index.html, our style.css, and just a generic picture here of Wicklow. So in order to open it up, what you're going to do is you're going to click on the load file. And what that does then, it opens up, you go to your folder, and we want to double click on the index.html. And just while we're here, I'm also going to open another existing file and style.css. So these are the 2 files we're going to be using. Now what you notice in there's code in the HTML file, but there's no code in the CSS. That's absolutely fine. So the HTML site, our code, is essentially the bones of our website, and it's what we use to kind of lay out the structure of the site. And then we use the CSS file as we go along. We're going to be using that to like change the background color, change the fonts and stuff like that. So just to give a quick run through of the site, HTML works off tags. So you'll see we have these tags here, and they're open with the left arrow and they close with the right arrow. But then you also notice we have tags which have a backslash in them. So basically the best way to look at it is a web page is split up into 2 main sections. We have the head section, which opens here and closes here, and then we have our body section, which opens here and closes down here. So the head section is where we have stuff like our title. We have any links to any other files. In this case, it's going to be our CSS file. And then we also have extra kind of code for telling the browser what type of encoding we want. So what kind of characters we're going to use. In this case, it's just the characters on the keyboard. And then everything in the body is what's seen by the user. So the menu, the pictures, the videos, the text, and all that kind of stuff. Now, to make life easier, in the body section, that's actually split into 3 different sections. So we have our header, which is where you'd have like your logo and your menu section. We have our main section, which is where you show the bulk of the content, your text, your images, your videos and stuff like that. And then the footer is kind of the bottom of the website. So it's where you'd put, for me, I'd put made by Kotlin Web. So, or stuff like that. So let's get started now. So as you can see, we have our title here called Wicklow. So that just shows up on the tab on our web browser. And you can change it to whatever you want for the moment. We're just going to keep it at Wicklow. And we're not going to touch anything else here now with the head section. We're going to leave this. This link here is telling that it's a text CSS file and it's a style sheet and it's linking to our style.css file, which is in our project folder. And we can leave the meta char set because that's a default. I use it across all sites as well. Now, we are going to go down to our main section and we're going to start using our first set of tags. So we need to put in a title. And in HTML, they have a range of 6 different tags and they're all called H tags. So H1, H2, all the way down to 6. H1 is the biggest and H6 is the smallest. And then for text, we're just going to use the P tag, which is short for paragraph. So we're going to start off. I'm just going to click at the end of main and press enter twice. Now it doesn't matter. I like to space it out so it makes it easier to read. And we just open now, holding down shift, I open the left arrow and go H1. And then I close the right arrow. And what you'll notice, by default, it has closed our H1 tag. So the text will only be changed into a title or a H1 inside the 2 of these brackets. If we were to put text out here, nothing would happen now. So we're just going to put our title in. I'm just going to type in County Wicklow. Okay. I'm going to click to the end of the H1, press enter twice. Now I'm going to do my paragraph or P tag. So P, and I close it. And I'm going to just type in, welcome to my website about County Wicklow. So what we can do now is we are going to load this up in a browser and see what we've done. So the first thing we need to do, what you'll notice is you'll see the index.html has turned red. So what that means is we haven't saved it. So what we're going to do is we are just going to click on save the current file. And you can see then it turns back to white. Now, in order to view the web page and see what we've done so far and actually see what it looks like in a web browser, if you just go back into your project folder and double left click on the index.html file, it'll actually open up your file here in the browser. So I'll just do that now. And here we go. So as you can see, here we have our H1 tag saying County Wicklow, and here we have our paragraph tag saying, welcome to my website about County Wicklow. Now, the cool thing is, while you're working through this, you can actually keep this open, and just every time you make a change and save it, you can refresh and you'll automatically, the file will be updated in your web browser, which is pretty cool. So the next thing we're going to do now is we're going to start doing a bit of CSS, and just kind of, because the website at the moment is a little bit boring being nice and white. So what we're going to do is I'm going to click on our style.css tab that we opened at the very start. Just in case if you haven't opened it up, what you can do is just go to open an existing file, navigate to where the website project folder is, and just double click on the style.css. So as you'll see, it's a blank page. Now, CSS is a little bit different now to HTML, but it's fairly straightforward. So we want to change the color, the background color of the body section. And it's just as straightforward. We go type in body, and then we use the curly brackets, which is you hold down Shift, and I think it's next to the P button on the keyboard. And now I'm going to press enter twice. Just again, this is to space it out, and I'm going to type in background color. Now, just in case, we're using the American spelling. That's how CSS works. So color is spelled C-O-L-O-R. Then we do colon, and I'm going to change this to light sky blue. Now make sure you have capital L, capital S, and capital B. And then whenever you finish, we do a semicolon, enter twice, and then we have to close our curly braces, our curly brackets like that. Now you'll notice that our style.css has turned red, so we need to save it. And if I go back to the browser now, and if I hit refresh, boom, you see now our page has turned blue. And I'm sure that there's a whole range of different colors you can use, purple, dark, all sorts of ones. I'll put a list in the description below for all the different colors that you can use, so you can pick one that suits your style. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to add some style to our text. Okay, so we're going to use a different font, and we do this by going font family, and we're going to change it to, now we use the quotation marks, Helvetica. Helvetica. And we close our quotation marks, comma, and it's a sans serif type of font. And then we close with our semicolon. And then we want to just give it a color. So we're going to say color, colon, purple. Okie dokie. Now, the next thing we're going to do before we save this is we're going to click after the last curly braces. Oh, sorry, almost forgot. We have to close with a semicolon, otherwise it wouldn't work. So we're going to click after the last curly braces, press enter again twice. So we're going to set up a new CSS bit for the H1 or our title tag. So we simply go H1 space curly brace, enter twice, and I'm going to go color colon yellow and do the semicolon, and I'm going to change the font family to Times New Roman. So we go font family, and we go Times New Roman. Close our quotation marks. comma, and it's a serif type font. Now, don't worry too much about, I'll put in a list below as well of all the different types of fonts you can use. So, and then we do close off our curly braces. Now, we're going to save our file. And if we go back now and open up our browser and we hit refresh, now you'll see my H1 tag is now yellow and my paragraph is now purple. That's pretty cool. So let's start adding in some images now. So what we're going to do is we're going to click back over into our index.html file. And what you'll see is below, we're going to click just after the P tag and we'll press enter twice. So we are going to use, there's a special line now, it's quite a long line, but it's very straightforward, but I'll talk you through it. So we're going to open up our left arrow, img, which is short for image. We need to tell the browser, where is our image? So source is equal to, and the image is wicklow.jpg. Now, JPEG is standard format for images, which really it's best suited for working on the web. So if you're using any images saving from Google or anything like, try and save them as a JPG. That'll work best. And always store them inside the project folder. Otherwise, your source would have to be much longer to tell it where it is. So we also now need to give what's called the alt text. So basically, if the web page didn't load properly, or if the image didn't load properly, we need to be able to show the user what a name for the image that would be there. So we go alt equals, and we're just going to call this just text Wicklow Mountains. And it's just purely to back up, to show the user what type of image would have been there. And then finally, we're going to set the width of our image. So we're going to width is equal to, and we're going to say 500 px. Now, you guys will be able to mess around. You can make it bigger or wider or smaller, whatever you want, but I like to keep it at 500 pixels for the moment. And then finally, we're just going to close off this tag by doing \right arrow. So now, if we save our file, save the current file, go back to our browser and we hit refresh. Now, and there we have a lovely image of Guinness Lake, or I think it's Loch Tay it's called. So that's looking pretty cool. Now, the next thing we're going to do is we need to add in a YouTube video. Now, this is actually fairly straightforward. So what I've done, if I open up my browser again, this was the original site. So here's the video here. So I actually have it open up on YouTube, and it's a great drone shot video by Trevor Quinn Photography. And all you do is click on the share. And this little pop-up is going to show here. And you want the embed section. And what this does, it gives us an iframe, which essentially shows the video inside a little frame. So what we're going to do is copy all of that. Now you can right click and you can copy. And we are going to go back to Genie now. Click at the end of the image tag, enter twice, and I'm just going to paste in the big huge long code for our video. So the iframe, it's giving a width 560, a height of 315 pixels. It's finding our source, which here's the link for the YouTube video. This basically, if we want a border around, you can put a border in. And then these are all extra little tags which YouTube have added in. So if we were to save this now, so we go save, and we go back over to our working web page, and I click, cool. Now we have our video in. But we have a little thing, I don't like the video sitting right beside it. So what we can do, first of all, let's see if it plays. Yep, it's working now, it's brilliant. So what I'm going to do is we can add in a little tiny tag. It's called the break tag. So at the end of the image, add line, press enter, and we're going to go left arrow, /BR. And by doing that, it sets up the next item, which is the iframe, to be on a new line. So if we load this up and hit refresh, now that's a bit better. But we notice now, see the way our image is a little bit different. So let's see if we can line them up a bit. I think the video has a width of 560 and our picture is only 500. So let's go change that. So we're going to change that to 560 as well for our picture. We'll go save and we'll check back in our browser and see if they match up. Perfect. That's looking pretty cool. So now let's put in some cool little lists now into our website. So I've clicked after the end of our big long line of code here for the iframe. I've pressed enter twice, so we're on a brand new line. Now we're just going to put in another paragraph tag and we're going to put in places to see in Wicklow. Now, so we're going to just put a list of some cool places. So how do we do this? So the first thing the first list we're going to use is what's called an unordered list or a UL list. And what this does is it gives us dots in the list. So let's go ahead and do that. So press enter twice and we're going to do UL. Now what you notice by default, again, it closes it, but I'm just going to press enter once like that. Or twice, sorry. I'm going to go back up to the original UL and press enter once. So we're on a new line. Now, I'm going to start off putting in my list tag, which is LI. So we open up our left arrow, LI, close it. Now, we're going to put in just a couple of locations here. So I'm going to put in like Glendalough, and then I'm going to click after the LI close tag. I'm going to add in a new LI tag, and I'm going to put in Loch Tay. And then I'm going to click at the end, put in another item, LI. I'm going to put British Bay. And let's do one more now. LI. And the Sugarloaf Mountain. I think it's a mountain anyway. Now, so if we save this now, save, and we go back to our site, and we hit refresh, and we scroll down, here's our unordered list. So we have a paragraph tag first, and then we have our 4 items, Glendalough, Loch Tay, British, Sugarloaf Mountain. Cool. So now let's check out an ordered list. So what we'll do after the closing UL tag, just going to press enter twice, I'm going to do just another paragraph tag, oops, all lowercase, and I'm going to call this towns and villages, oops. So just going to name. Now, what we're going to do, instead of UL, we're going to do the open tag, and it's OL. Now, just a key reminder, any of the tags we do, whenever we're typing them, they're always lowercase. There's no uppercase tags whatsoever in HTML. It doesn't matter now for inside the paragraph, when we're writing our text, you can have all that. But just when we're doing our actual tags in between the arrows, they have to be lowercase, just a point. So let's get started then with our OL list. So press enter twice, go back up to the first, press enter. So it's the exact same as there now. So we do our LI tag, and I'm going to put in Wicklow Town. Put in another LI, and we're going to put in Greystones, and then we'll put in Blessington, and finally put in Red Cross. Okay, so now if we save this file, go back into our browser and refresh. So here's our unordered list with the dots, and cool, here's our ordered list with numbers. That's pretty cool. So the last thing we're going to do now in this tutorial is we're just going to create a standard link now to a Wikipedia page about the Wicklow Mountains. So just make sure you're clicked at the end of the OL, the ordered list here. I'm going to press enter twice. Again, it's just a space out. And we are going to start off now with our link tag, which is A. So we go, oops, always open with our left arrow, A space href equals, and it's inside the quotation marks is where we put the link. So for the moment now, we're just going to keep that blank because we're going to finish off the rest of the tag, and we're going to go right arrow. Now, anything inside the 2 arrows here is what's going to be clickable by the user. So that's normally where you'd see the click here. Now, we also want to put a bit of text after here, but just to make sure that the web page is the web browser is happy, we're going to put this link inside a paragraph tag. So we just go above, do the P, we can delete this one, and we're going to put it below it. Just so the text we're going to add on after this will all work nicely. So \P close. Now, so now I'm going to get my link to the Wikipedia page. So I have it open here. So we'll just copy that link. I'm going to paste it in between the quotation marks. Okie dokie. And then after the tag, we can just say, so click here, and then to learn more about the Wicklow Mountains. Okay. And because that's in a P tag or a paragraph tag, the browser is going to be happy with it. So let's go ahead and save that. So now we're going to test out our code. And if we go down to the bottom, here you'll see our click here, and it's underlined, which is the link. And here's the text after it that's still in the paragraph tag, but it's not linked. So we can actually click on that, and it'll take us off to our Wikipedia page about the Wicklow Mountains. It's pretty cool. So what I want you guys to do now is test out, see if you can add in some more images, try a different video, make up your own lists here, and then in the next tutorial, we are going to start putting in navigation lists and some more pages. So see you then.